Coming of fall brings with it some beautiful hikes. The cool outdoor temperatures provide the perfect environment to break a sweat while enjoying the changing of the leaves. And recently, my husband and I took a trip to Park City, Utah to hike one of the area's most beloved trails. Prepped, packed, and prepared for about a 14-mile adventure. A group of family and friends are attempting to summit the second highest mountain in the Wasatch Range. It's Mount Timpanogos. Resident mountain man and our trusty guide, John West, will lead us on this rocky journey to almost 11,800 feet. And it's all in efforts of preparing my husband Steve and I for an even bigger hike abroad.
If you're ever thinking about going to Africa and hiking Kilimanjaro, this is like a mini version. You got it all here, from the rainforest to the scree fields and the rock climbing at the top. So this needs to be on your list. Considered probably the best hike in the state of Utah.
And one of the most popular hikes. Its scenery is spectacular. We trudge through forests of thick aspens and pines. We sashay our way up switchbacks of crumbling rocks, breathing deliberately as the air thins. For us so-called city slickers, a day of stomping through streams and cooling off with snowmelt is an incredibly refreshing experience. But discovering hidden waterfalls on the way to the summit, now that's a magical one.
There's still a lot of snow up near the top. It's melting and coming down over those waterfalls, over the rocks. Really cool stuff.
As we conquer more and more vertical, we can see the environment and the weather changing. Tree-covered trails turn to gravel fields, and then even slicker ones. We charge across sloshy inclines, negotiating our way through slippery bends on white meadows. But the more ground we cover, the more of Mother Nature's organic treasures and treacherous gems we encounter. This spot, right here, marks 10,000 feet. Now, where can I get an oxygen tank? But despite how prepared and equipped you are for the trek, eventually, all the elements come crashing down on you. The altitude, heaving your heavy legs through crunchy snowbanks mile after mile. Some just seem to handle it better than others. Steve, how you feeling?
Pretty tired.
What about you, Frank?
I'm tired.
Stephen MacDonald?
I'm great.
And John West.
Oh, I love it. This is awesome.
Across yet another snowy landscape, a mere 500 vertical feet away, our towering white-capped summit awaits. But then, as often occurs at higher elevations, the unexpected happens.
Run and look at that. It's starting to rain. They said we got to get off of here.
Like the victims of an angry avalanche, suddenly our mountaineering goals to reach Tim's Peak are bruised, battered, and crushed by a sudden and very unexpected storm.
We may have to abandon the climb and live to come back another day.
With moments to spare before the heavens open up, we evaluate the situation, opting to take the shortest route down. Yep, we're sliding. And as you saw, the weather can change at a moment's notice when you're on a hike, and we were with a very experienced guide who prepared us for our journey. And if you're planning hikes this fall, there are certain safety measures you should definitely take. Leon Watts from Adventure Outfitters has climbed many a mountain, from Kilimanjaro a couple of times to some of the more domestic hikes as well.
You've done a few.
Yeah, you've done a few, and you're about to go back to Kilimanjaro too?
Yep, 1st of November.
I'm going in about a week. Do you have any advice for me? Play it safe.
If you're not ready for it now, there's really not a whole lot you can do. Go slow.
Great. Go slow. That is good advice. All right. Well, let's give some other people some safety tips, because there are a lot of people that are going to be hiking and climbing this fall.
Yep.
And the first thing that you say is, let people know where you're going and when you're going to come back.
Yeah,
why is this so important?
It's like a float plan on a boat. You want to let people know when you plan to be back. Should something happen out in the woods, people should know where to find you.
Absolutely. And you have this device. I actually have one of these as well. It's
Yes.
called a Spot Satellite Personal Tracker. Tell me about this.
The Spot, what it does is it uses satellites, and it lets people know. It has a little button you can push OK. It lets people know where you are all the time. They can track you on Google Earth. And if should you have an emergency, you push the little 911 button, and it calls the authorities. So it's kind of a nice safety backup.
That is a terrific safety backup, and it's great to take on boat trips, too, and
Absolutely,
whatnot.
absolutely.
You also say be prepared for bad weather. Of course, always. Like you saw in my situation, and we
Yes.
had a hailstorm, actually.
Right.
What do you want to bring?
You definitely want to bring some type of shell wear, outerwear.
Like this jacket right
Nice
here?
jacket.
Gore-Tex?
Lightweight, Gore-Tex, something of that nature. You know, lightweight, breathable for south, nice and warm for, or nice and cool for up north.
I like this.
Yes.
This is my bag. This is a Sims Dry Creek day pack. It's my favorite thing. It's waterproof, and this kept my camera dry the entire time I was hiking in that big storm too.
Yep.
Big fan of that one. Finally, we got to show everybody this. Look, my gaiters.
I think they're cute shoes.
Look at this. They're actually part of my attire when I go to Kilimanjaro. Most people won't need these. These keep the snow and the scree out of your hiking boots,
Yes,
though.
yes.
All right, but on our average hike, we won't need that, right?
Not necessarily, no. Good
Okay.
pair of boots, though.
Yes, that's what you say. Wear appropriate footwear. What kind?
Depends on the kind of trail that you're going to be on and what you're going to be carrying. If you're carrying anything on your back, you need something up on your ankles. Running shoes, cross trainers, things like that aren't really appropriate on trails because they don't give you enough support, you know, lateral
Sure.
support. So preferably something waterproof and something up on your ankle for the support.
Good. And then you also say, pack food, pack light, but pack food.
Yep.
What else should you put in your pack?
Definitely water.
Lots of water.
Lots of water. Couple quarts generally is kind of safe in case you get stuck out. You may not drink it, but it's better to have too much than not enough.
Okay, and you say include a SteriPen.
In the past, we've used water purifiers and pumps and things like that, but now we have a SteriPen, and what the SteriPen does is it's a UV water purifier. It sterilizes the water. You can get it right out of a stream, right out of any source, and it will sterilize the water, kill everything in there, 90 seconds.
That's really key because you can get sick from the bacteria in the water if you run out of your own water and have to
Yes.
drink it. And you also say leave no trace. Real quick, why is this important?
You don't want the next person in the woods behind you to know you were there. Wrappers on the ground. You want to leave everything as pristine as possible. And one of the things you're going to see on Kilimanjaro and places like that get a lot of traffic is not everybody follows that. And that's one of the things when you go into the parks and you go into some of these more used trails that, you know, can be kind of annoying when you see someone else has been there and didn't think to not leave some of their traces behind.
Leave the environment as it should naturally look.
Exactly.
Leon Watts from Adventure Outfitters, thank you so much for being
My
here. We
pleasure.
appreciate it. And you can link to Leon's site through our site. That's daytimeonline.tv. Now, hey, in just a bit, if you're single or don't want to be, stay tuned. Dating expert Lisa Daly is helping our viewers with some very personal and private dating problems. We can all learn from these. Stay with us.